Thank you so much for joining me for this full length class. It's going to use a lot of the moves that we've worked on this week and build on those to progress you forwards into the classes that come in next week. So we're going to go ahead and get started lying down, just allowing everything to relax. It's a little bit stormy here, so hopefully it doesn't start to rain, but we'll carry on regardless. So finding yourself in as comfortable a place as possible to get started. So maybe starting by just closing down the eyes, allowing the head, the shoulders, the hips and the feet to just relax down into the mat. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale, just allowing everything to slowly start to soften and relax. You get to stay here. Sometimes allowing yourself to relax at the very beginning is actually the hardest part, right? So allowing yourself as much time as you need to allow everything to land. And then when it feels possible, we're going to take both knees into the chest. Maybe taking a little rock from side to side. So just checking in with the knees, the hips, the ankles. Maybe there's a little wiggle of the fingers in there somewhere. But from here, we're going to take both hands around the left knee, and as you inhale, we're going to extend the right leg long, pointing the toes, and then as you exhale, drawing the right knee all the way back in. Inhaling, extending long, exhaling, drawing the knee into the chest, keeping that movement going with your own breathing rhythm. So as you exhale, we're drawing the knee in, and as we inhale, we're extending the leg long, just checking in with all the little pops and clicks through the hips, the knees, the ankles. And then if you take one last deep breath, drawing the knee all the way back in with the exhale, then from here, we're going to take both hands down either side of the hips. And this time, as you inhale, we're going to extend the right leg long, taking the left hand behind, exhaling, drawing the knee into the chest, and the left hand back down by the hip. Breathing in, reaching long, exhaling, drawing everything back to center. As you inhale, we're extending, exhaling, drawing everything back in close. And then one final round, inhaling, extending long, exhaling, taking everything back into center, and just finding a little roll of the knees, a little rock from side to side. We're going to take it all over to the other side. So from here, starting with just the left leg, as you inhale, we're going to extend that one long, exhaling, drawing the knee into the chest. Inhaling, taking the leg down in front, pointing the toes, exhaling, drawing the knee back in. And once again, just finding how that movement matches your own breathing rhythm. So maybe it's really slow and smooth, maybe it's a little faster, right? But connecting the movement to the breath, taking one last deep inhale, and then as you exhale, drawing the knee in close, taking the hands down by the sides. And from here, as you inhale, the right hand and the left leg extend, exhaling back to center. Breathing in, reaching long, exhaling, drawing everything back in close. Inhaling, reaching, exhaling, bringing everything back to that starting point, and then one final round, reaching long, exhaling all the way back to start. Maybe just once again finding some little circles of the knees. From here, as you exhale, we're going to roll the knees over to the right, and when they find their own natural stopping point, just allowing the legs to relax entirely. So maybe that means the feet slide away a little bit. Maybe the knees just move a little further out to the side. Sometimes they land and sometimes they just kind of hover, right? We're just noticing where everything settles, allowing it to be there. Taking one more really deep breath wherever you found yourself. And then with the next inhale, squeezing to draw the knees back into the chest, pressing the forearms or the backs of triceps down into the floor. And with the next exhale, we're going to roll the knees over to the left and just allowing them to find their way down into their own natural stopping point. And again, sometimes that means the feet kind of slide away. And maybe this is the side where the knees just kind of hover. Maybe they come all the way down to the floor. Sometimes one shoulder is a little bit lifted. We're just paying attention to all those little differences. Taking one last really deep breath here. And then squeezing to draw the knees all the way back into the chest. We're going to take the hands behind the hamstrings, finding a roll up to a seated place. And from here, we're going to take the hands down in front, shuffling the knees back. So we're finding our way into that place where we've got the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. And as you inhale, we're going to lift the chest and the tailbone. And as you exhale, tucking the chin and the tailbone under, lifting the spine. Breathing in, rolling the shoulders back, lifting to cow pose. Exhaling, tucking the chin, drawing the spine upwards to cat. Keeping that movement going with your own breathing rhythm and adding in any extra moves that feel intuitive, right? Because it's your opportunity to check in with all the muscles and joints, all the parts that don't often get moved around so much. So maybe taking a little roll of the wrists, a little wriggle of the fingers, sinking the hips forwards and backwards, stretching the shoulders, finding all the extra little clicks and pops. And then when everything feels somewhat familiar, we're going to come back to tabletop. And from here, we're going to see about lifting the right foot out behind and untucking the left toes. When we lift the right foot, we want to lift it by squeezing the glutes, right? So instead of lifting it up and allowing the lower back to sink and finding this kind of cow back shape, we're going to pull the core in tight and press back through that right heel. Taking the weight over into the left hand, reaching into the right hand and reaching the left hand out in front. Here we go. Breathing in, reaching the arm and the foot long. Exhaling, compressing, bringing the knee and the elbow together. Breathing in, reaching the arm and the elbow long. And just like we did this week, with the next exhale, we're going to take the right foot out to the right and the left hand out to the left. Inhaling long, exhaling to compress. We're going to take 2 more rounds. Breathing in, reaching, exhaling out to the side, inhaling, reaching long, exhaling, compressing. Breathing in, reaching the hand and the foot apart, exhaling out to the side. From here, we're going to land the left hand down. So if I turn to the side and try not to fall, then I've got my right foot out to the right and the hands are landed in front. I'm going to point the toes to the right. Here we go. And we're just going to look at finding tiny little circles with that right foot. One last deep breath here. And then landing the right foot down, we're going to walk the hands in, lifting the chest, sweeping the arms up high, breathing in, lifting. And as you exhale, we're going to take the right hand down towards the right leg, reaching the left hand all the way up and over. And we're making sure not to hold on to any tension through the neck and the shoulders, right? So just allowing that right ear to fall down towards the right shoulder. As you exhale, we're going to sweep the arms forwards and around to the left, left hand lands, right hand reaching up to the sky. So we're finding our way into our side plank, breathing in, reaching through the right fingers. We're going to start to lift, sweeping the arms high, exhaling, right hand lowers to right leg, left hand reaching over. One deep breath here. Exhaling, sweeping forwards and around, breathing in, reaching the right hand high, leading with those right fingers. We're going to lift all the way up. Inhaling at the top, exhaling, right hand lowers, left hand reaching over the top. We're going to take one final round, big inhale here. As you exhale, sweeping the hands all the way around until you can sweep that right hand high. And from here, we're going to lift all the way up. But this time we're going to take the right knee down alongside the left. So finding a place we can check in with the core, right? So if you feel like your bum is poking backwards and your tummy is relaxing forwards, we're going to correct that by pulling the core in tight and squeezing the glutes. From here, we're going to step the right foot forwards. We're going to keep the knee bent and the hip low, but with the next inhale, we're going to step the left foot alongside the right. And we should find our way up into something that kind of looks like our Utkatasana, right? Our chair pose. Reaching through the fingers, breathing in deeply. As you exhale, we're going to lower the left knee. And then we're going to take the right knee down alongside. And maybe the hands come down to the shoulders, just allowing, down to the hips, allowing the shoulders to relax. But if we take one more round, this time sweeping the arms high. And with the next inhale, we're going to land the sole of the left foot, taking the weight forwards. We're going to take the right foot alongside, reaching through the fingers, checking in with the core, right? So we're finding that straight line from the shoulders down through the spine and out through the tailbone. Breathing in, reaching through the fingers. As you exhale, we're going to take the chest forwards, sweeping the arms back. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, drawing the chest forwards and the hands back. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling forwards. And then one final lift, sweeping upwards on the inhale. Releasing a full exhale. And with the next inhale, we're going to extend the legs long, reaching the arms high. Exhaling, swan diving forwards, forward fold. Taking the hands to the shins, lifting the chest halfway. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the knees, land the hands, stepping the feet back to plank. Drawing a deep breath in at the very top. As you exhale, we're going to lower. Inhaling, lifting the chest to upward facing dog. And with a big exhale, sending the hips all the way back and up into downward facing dog. Taking a pedal of the legs, extending the heels back and down, and taking a little press from side to side of the chest. And then when it all feels possible, we're going to lower the knees all the way down to the mat. And we should be back where we started in our tabletop. And from here, this time we're going to reach the left foot back. And we're pointing the toes towards the floor, right? Reaching back through the heels, squeezing the glutes, so we're not allowing the core to relax. We're holding everything tight. And then if we take the weight over into the left hand, we're going to reach the right hand forwards. Breathing in, reaching through the fingers. Exhaling, knee to elbow. Inhaling, reaching long. As you exhale, knee to elbow. And then breathing in to extend. This time as you exhale, we're going to take the left foot to the left and the right hand to the right. Inhaling, reaching long. Exhaling, knee to elbow. Breathing in, reaching long. Exhaling, hand and foot out to the side. We're going to take one more inhale. Exhaling to compress. Breathing in deeply, and then final time, as you exhale, taking the left foot left and the right hand right, before taking the hands both down to the floor, but keeping the left foot lifted. And if we point the toes to the left, we're going to take those tiny circles, keeping that movement going, strengthening the hip, finding a little bit of mobility, and then lowering the left foot down, walking the hands in, breathing in, sweeping the arms high, lifting through the fingers. And as you exhale, we're going to take the left hand down towards the left leg, sweeping the right arm all the way up and over. Breathing in, reaching through the right fingers. As you exhale, we're going to sweep the arms forwards and around to the right before inhaling, lifting the left fingers all the way up to the sky. Switching on the core here, we're going to squeeze to lift all the way up, sweeping the arms high, exhaling, left hand lowers, right hand reaching over, breathing in deeply. As you exhale, sweeping the arms around to the right, breathing in, lifting, holding the core tight, and then leading with that left hand to lift all the way up. Exhaling, left hand lowers, right hand reaching over. Final round. As you exhale, sweeping around to the right, extending the left hand high, and then this time as you inhale, we're going to come all the way up. And then if you take the left knee alongside the right, we're going to make our way back to that high kneeling place, activating the core to keep everything protected. We're going to draw the arms all the way up overhead, and then landing the left foot out in front. We're going to take a deep breath, and then stepping the right foot alongside Utkatasana, reaching through the fingers, sinking the weight down into the heels, breathing in deeply. And as you exhale, we're going to lower the right knee, and then taking the left knee down alongside, taking a little roll out of the shoulders, allowing everything to relax as you come through the middle. And then from here, breathing in, lifting the arms high. We're going to step the right foot forwards, taking the weight forwards into that right foot, and then seeing about taking the left foot alongside, reaching up through the fingers. We've got an optional challenge here to lift all the way up onto the tiptoes, arching the feet, reaching through the fingers. As you exhale, taking the chest forward, sweeping the arms back, inhaling, lifting all the way up, exhaling, chest comes forwards, sweeping the hands back, reaching through the fingers, super wobbly up on the tiptoes, breathing in to lift, exhaling to lower, and then landing the heels if they're not already, sweeping the arms high. One final round of breath in Utkatasana, and then inhaling, reaching the arms high, exhaling, swan diving forwards, tucking the chin, breathing in, lifting the chest halfway, exhaling, bending the knees, landing the hands, stepping the feet back to plank, taking a deep inhale here. As you exhale, we're going to lower, breathing in, lifting the chest, upward facing dog. And this time as you exhale, we're going to send the hips all the way back into child's pose, taking a little moment here to allow the forehead to rest down heavy and the hips to sink back down towards the heels. So sometimes there's a few little wriggles and shuffles that just allow you to find your way back into the most comfortable possible variation of child's pose. That's what we're looking for here. Allowing the hands and the feet to relax entirely, filling the belly with the inhale. And with the exhale, just allowing yourself to sink a little deeper into the pose. And so maybe this is where you stay. Just allowing everything to slowly, slowly start to relax. Or maybe with the next inhale, reaching the arms all the way to the very top of the mat. From here, as you inhale, we're going to keep the chest low. We're going to draw it forwards, and as you reach the hands, we're going to lift all the way up into upward facing dog. Exhaling, sending the hips all the way back to child's pose, taking all those little wriggles and shuffles that sink you back, and then inhaling, drawing forwards, lifting through the arms. Exhaling, sending the hips all the way back to child's pose. One final round. Breathing in, drawing the chest forwards, lifting through the arms. And then this time as you inhale, we're going to lift the hips, tucking the toes, taking the hands under the shoulders. And with a big exhale, sending the hips all the way back and up into our downward facing dog. Taking a little pedal of the legs, all the little wriggles and shuffles that make it all feel a little bit more possible, a little bit more neutral. And from here, as you inhale, we're going to sweep the left foot all the way up behind. And as you exhale, stepping the left foot forwards, landing it in between the hands. And with a big inhale, sweeping the arms up high, lifting up into our high lunge. So we're pressing back through the right heel and we're sinking down into that left knee, lifting the chest, reaching through the fingers, breathing in deeply. And as you exhale, we're going to step that right foot forwards and up, reaching the hands back. And sometimes having the hands back and the chest lifted just make it all feel a little bit more balanced. But from here, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. So we're finding our way down into our figure four pose. Exhaling, we're going to sweep the hands forwards and up, sinking the hips back, finding our way into figure four chair. Breathing in deeply, rooting down through the standing leg on the exhale. We're just going to take one really deep inhale here. And then with the next inhale, we're going to lift, unhooking the right ankle. Breathing in, sending the right foot back, taking the chest forwards, finding our way down into our warrior three, using everything around you as a prop. You get to hold onto walls, chairs, sometimes taking the hands down towards some blocks or down towards the floor is the thing that makes it all feel a little bit more balanced. But with the next exhale, we're all going to meet with the hands coming all the way down to the floor, taking a deep inhale in through the nose. And as you exhale, we're going to take the right knee behind the left knee and taking a little bend to the left knee, turning the right toes to point towards the left. So if I turn towards the front, you can see the knees are aligned and the right toes point towards the left. And sometimes keeping the hands landed makes it all feel a little bit more possible. Or maybe lifting the hands and squeezing the shoulder blades together. But we're just going to take one deep breath here. And then taking the hands back down towards the floor, we're going to step that right foot all the way back and the left foot alongside. Finding your way back to plank, drawing a deep breath in through the nose. As you exhale, we're going to lower, inhaling, lifting to upward facing dog, exhaling, lifting the hips, finding your way back to tabletop. As you inhale, we're going to lift the chest and the tailbone. And as you exhale, tucking the chin and the tailbone under, finding our way back through that cat-cow movement, allowing the spine to neutralize, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. And again, taking the opportunity here to just find all those extra little wriggles and shuffles that bring you back to a place of somewhat neutrality. tucking the toes. And with a big exhale, we're going to send the hips all the way back and up into downward facing dog, finding all the little pedals, wriggles and shuffles along the way. And then with a big inhale, sweeping the right foot all the way up behind, squeezing the glutes to take it high. Exhaling, stepping the right foot forwards and landing it in between the hands or thereabouts, right? Finding all those extra little steps along the way. And then from here, we're going to press down through the right foot, lifting the chest all the way up into a high lunge, pressing back through the left heel, reaching the fingers high. One deep breath here. And as you exhale, we're going to step the left foot all the way forward, sweeping the arms all the way back, finding that place where you can allow everything to slowly start to come to a place of steadiness. That's where we're going to cross the left ankle over the right knee. And if you sweep the arms forwards, we're going to sink the hips down and back, reaching up through the fingertips, exhaling, lowering that left knee down to the left. And if you take a really deep inhale here, then as you exhale, we want to root down through the standing foot. One last deep breath. And then the next inhale, we're going to lift, unhooking the left ankle, and then breathing in, extending the left foot back, reaching the arms long, and taking the chest somewhat parallel to the floor, finding that line of tension from the back of the left heel all the way along through to the fingertips. One more deep breath, and then taking the hands down towards the floor. We're going to bend the left knee, drawing it in behind the right, and turning the toes to point towards the right also. So again, if I turn to the front here, you can see my knees are aligned and my left toes point towards the right. And we're in our Shiva squat, right? And sometimes having the hands down make it all feel that little bit more possible. Sometimes it feels possible to take the palms to press, squeezing the shoulder blades together. But we're just going to take one deep breath there before taking the hands down and stepping the left foot back. And if we take the left foot back, we're going to step the right foot alongside, drawing a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, we're going to lower. Inhaling, lifting the chest to upward facing dog. Exhaling, sending the hips all the way back towards the heels, resting the forehead down and allowing everything to slowly come to a place of stillness. Drawing a deep breath in through the nose, filling the belly. And as you exhale, just noticing if the breath feels a little faster. And that's fine. Sometimes it takes a little while for it all to catch up with itself. But if we take the hands all the way back in towards us, we're going to lift the chest and take the feet back out in front. And we're making our way back down onto the back. So back to that place that we started at, where we've got the knees into the chest. If you take a little rock from side to side, maybe closing down the eyes and just allowing the head and the shoulders to sink back into the mat. From here, we're going to take a really deep inhale and we're going to allow the knees to sink out to the sides. Sometimes this is where we stay, right? Because we're heading into happy baby. So we get to stay right here. Maybe the hands just on the outside of the knees, or maybe just on the backs of the hamstrings, right? Seeing what feels the most comfortable. That's what we're looking for now. Maybe lifting the soles of the feet and reaching in between the knees to take hold of the feet with the hands. And if you draw down on one foot and then the other, you usually get a little rock from side to side. Sometimes extending one leg And then the other is that thing that just allows you to find all those last little squeezes and stretches. But as you inhale, allowing the belly to fill and expand, lifting in between the legs. As you exhale, just allowing the spine to melt down into the mat. The head sinking backwards. The hands and the feet relaxed, even though we're drawing the knees down towards us. Allowing all the muscles through the face to soften all around the eyes, relaxing. Taking one last really deep inhale wherever you found yourself. And then as you exhale, releasing anything they're holding, we're going to draw the knees all the way back into the chest. And just allowing everything to relax. So we're back where we started, right? But maybe it feels a little bit different now. Extending the right leg long. Keeping the left leg close. Taking a little moment here to check in with all those muscles across the front of the right hip. And everything through the knee and the hip on the left side. And if it all feels good, then with a big exhale, we're going to roll the left knee over to the right. And taking all those extra little rocks and twists, all the little shuffles that it takes to find your way down into a place that feels somewhat comfortable, somewhere you could stay for a few moments. And when you find that place, taking a deep inhale in through the nose. And as you exhale, just allowing all the muscles through the legs, the arms, the hands, the shoulders to soften and relax entirely. So maybe that left knee comes all the way down to the floor. Maybe it just hovers. Maybe one shoulder is a little more lifted than the other. That's fine. Noticing all those little differences from one side of the body to the other. Allowing them to be there. Paying attention to all the little sensations as the breath moves through the body. If you take one more really deep inhale here, and with the next, we're going to squeeze to draw that left knee all the way back up and over, rolling onto the back. And if we take the right knee in close, extending the left leg long, we're going to take that little check-in on this side too. So just noticing all those little sensations through the front of the left hip. Checking in with the right knee, ankle, hip, toes. And if it all feels really good, then with a big exhale, we're going to roll that right knee over to the left. And just allowing it to sink as low as feels comfortable. So it doesn't have to go all the way down to the floor. Sometimes it just hovers. When it finds that natural stopping point, just allowing everything to relax entirely. All the muscles through the hips softening. That big twist at the waist, just wringing out any last little drips of tension, squeezing them out of the body. Allowing the hands and the feet to just dissolve down into the mat. All the little muscles around the eyes relaxing. and take one last really deep inhale here. And then with the next, we're going to find that little squeeze to draw the right knee all the way back up and into the chest. Taking the left knee alongside, finding all those last little rocks and rolls from side to side before extending the legs long and finding your way down into your most comfortable resting place.